Okay, so in my Discord server, there's a lot of people, and I was able to finally talk to a Trump supporter to actually get a clear picture of the other side. And now that I fully understand it, I grasp that there just seems to be a vast amount of misinformation being spread that people don't understand. And when I explained it to him, he had a mental breakdown inside my Discord. Now, I don't think anybody online is going to have a mental breakdown from what I'm saying. I think you guys know what I'm about to say and don't care about what I'm about to say because you think I'm wrong. So I'm just going to explain this the best way I can. I have a bachelor's degree in business technologies, right? This is very important. So, let's say the stock market crash. Is that bad for the little guy? You may be saying no, because the wealthiest 10% of Americans own 89% of all the stocks. You may be saying to yourself, yeah, they own all the stocks, so if the stock market crashes, we're fine. Okay, so this is important. I see that people are using this as some ridiculous metric to think that the stock market crashing will not affect them at all because they have no stocks within the stock market. So if a rich person gets angry and they lose their money, they're going to panic. They're not going to panic, sell their stocks. No. The other people, the middle class, the IRAs, the IPAs, IRAs that they're in, the 401ks, those are going to drop. Those are going to drop. Or some people that have their investments or retirements in these stocks, those are going to drop. They're going to panic sell because rich people barely panic sell. Rich people, the reason they own 89% of all stocks is because they do not liquidate their assets. They just say, all right, cool, whatever. And they let it happen. They just watch it free fall. Other people that aren't used to losing $2 million a day or 7,000 or 20,000 will begin to panic sell their stocks. So this is how that affects those people. Now you'd be saying, I'm young. How does that affect me? So this is important. You don't care about the older people because they ruin the economy. That's good. I'm happy about that. We're on the same page. I don't care about the older people because they ruin the economy either. But this is how things get destroyed. They don't think it's destroyed and annihilated. This is super important. So when the stock market crashes, big CEOs get panic and they cut costs because they can't afford things because their stocks are going down, right? So here's what happens. They end up getting rid of lower level jobs to cut production. They cut production at the lower level jobs, and then the government notices that those companies aren't producing a quota anymore, so they either get a tax write-out, a bailout by the government, or something like that. And while the stocks are at record lows, you know what rich people do? They end up taking that write-out or that buyout or that payout or whatever from the government, they get that tax write-off. They buy a bunch of stocks at record lows, mind you. They buy a bunch of stocks at record lows because they have the money to, the rich people do. They end up owning more stocks. Boom. Owning more stocks. This is the most important thing about this. And then they get rid of the lower level jobs, but they buy more stocks. And you can't buy anything because you don't have a job because they got rid of your job because you're lower class. And then the government makes sure the company is okay. So what's going to happen is that the companies are going to start cutting jobs. This is so important. Cutting jobs, and after the companies start cutting jobs, then the stock market is going to go right back up because the government is going to bail them out. That's why he's trying to impose tariffs as a subsidiary to get more money to us, because if he thinks he does this, he can start a trade war. If the trade war goes down, we will experience the Great Depression. If everybody is, we won't get coffee, we won't get wines, we won't get specific Italian foods, we won't get that sushi that you like so much, we won't get specific imports that don't exist in America because nobody wants to pay those high prices. That's what's going to happen. It isn't about beating the big guy and destroying fraud and things of that variety, and they need to pay us more because America is the greatest country on the planet. They are using, Donald Trump is using buzzwords to get you inspired and ignited and very happy about the idea that America's on top, guys. America's on top. Why are you stupid? I gotta ask that question. I know you're gonna call me stupid, and that's fine. That's okay. You can call me an idiot. You can call somebody with a bachelor's degree an absolute child. You're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to, but we're both eating beans out of a can. We're both struggling and suffering. And we both are actually watching everything go up in price because the production is being cut, because jobs are being cut. And because of that, the workers that are there need to get paid a higher value. And you're going to say, oh, the workers are there getting paid a higher value. Wrong again, because this is the new thing here. A lot of jobs are getting replaced by machines. So this could be a great way to get, you ever been to a workerless McDonald's? You're probably wondering, well, how does this benefit the little guy? What if everybody's poor? What are they going to do? The wealthy are old. They have high-class luxury bunkers. They don't care about anything. Jeff Bezos could hire a private army that could take out the government. That's not like a conspiracy. That's just how much money Jeff Bezos has. That's just how much money he theoretically has. That's a genuine fact. So, yes, you see this metric. The wealthiest 10% of Americans own a record 89% of all stock markets. Perfectly fine. Oh, yeah, that's true. And after this, they're probably going to own 94%. That's what's going to happen. And you may be saying to yourself, well, how rich is the wealthiest 10% of America? I'll help you out here. I'll help you out. I know a super rich person. I stay in Michigan. He lives on Mackinac Island. If you don't know where Mackinac Island is, it's a small island off the coast of Michigan. It's very important. He lives there. He bought a football field that he thought was $30,000. And then they corrected him and he said, how much is it actually? They said $300,000. He said, oh, okay, that's nothing. I want you to really fathom that. Why did he buy the football field, you ask? Was it to help a school? Yes. As a tax write-off of donation. And now, if you don't know how tax write-offs work or taxes or don't do your taxes, the ultra-rich love tax write-offs. The ultra-rich love putting their assets in places where the liquidation stays and they don't get taxed on it. The ultra-rich love doing that. They really do. It's their favorite thing. They might buy a $2 million piece of art or a $10 million piece of art and say they donated to it in an auction, but the auction was set up for the rich person so that they can get a tax write-off of donating $10 million in charity. But then they have a art piece that's valued at $10 million. They can liquidate that whenever they feel like it, so they still have their value of $10 million. That's the gameplay of being an ultra-rich person. You don't fathom that. You're not grasping how much money is being lost. I watched somebody say they lost $7 million on a YouTuber. Had a hat and he was a Republican. I forgot his name. It was after I was watching a Ben Shapiro video. He said he lost $7 million. He didn't even seem jostled by it. He just said, well, I lost $7 million. Not really that much, but I said, not really that much. What do you need $7 million for, dude? What do you need that much money for? This is a class war. You're right. I 100% agree with you. It is a class war. But you're not on the winning side. You're not.
I'm your nigga night, be my loyalties low. Ooh, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride when you're free.